Achieving this, by the way, in 90 days is no small. What was there any challenges that you had to overcome in this process? Like what do you think were the keys for goals? You mentioned having the team, but was there anything for others that are looking to achieve this on such a short timeline? Were there any?
Well, at least the approach we had was that the minimum, like we wanted to get to compliance as soon as possible and then maintain it ongoing. So the minimum observation window in SOC 2 is 3 months. So that means that there's a period of 3 months for SOC 2 Type 2 where the auditor is going to look across that period to make sure that you've continuously followed your processes. So that's SOC 2 Type 2. There's also SOC 2 Type 1, which is just the auditors looking at your policies and procedures and saying, yes, these are fit for purpose. So when we talk about 90 days, it's the observation window that we had for 90 days from the start to the finish and then having the report. So being able to do it in that short period of time meant that there was a bit of work before we started the observation window to make sure we basically set ourselves up for success, and a little bit at the end that made sure that we closed everything that needed to be closed. So first up, once we decided, okay, we're all in, we're going for it, before starting the SOC 2 Type 2, we did a SOC 2 Type 1 with our auditor. And that's like a really good health check. So as I said, inside the team, especially from the tech team, we had a big focus on let's build the policies and procedures that we think are right for us. The SOC 2 Type 1 is an important validation from an external auditor to say, yes, these meet the standards of SOC 2. So that's the first part. Before you even start into the observation window, it doesn't matter if you go into the observation window without a SOC 2 Type 1. But if you skip that, you might find that when it comes time to audit, the auditors will turn around and say, I'm sorry, this is not good enough for SOC 2 Type 2. So that was the first part. Make sure that you're in shape before you start. Now, the next part is, well, make sure that you actually follow your policies and procedures during that observation window. Make sure you get to that standard within time. Some of the stuff is, especially some of the controls, they're periodic, like you must do something once a quarter or once a year. You just have to make sure that you do that in that period. So even if it doesn't need to be done for a year by the standard, you have to make sure you get it done in that 3 months, because in the end, you need to be able to prove to the auditor that you have a process, you followed the process, and you have a proof that you followed the process. So that's the kind of, for all kinds of compliance, that's the 3 basic steps you need.